A lot of young players these days get a lot of slack for saying, man, they're not as loyal as they used to be back in the day, or they just can't stay focused. They can't stay committed to one team or one school like they used to back in the day. Well, let me tell you that Amari Robson's from the old school. So I'm not saying it's good or bad, but she's been committed to Clemson through the highs and the lows. But it's because she's focused. She's on a mission, not just on the court. She's building up Clemson women's basketball to be bigger and better than it was before she got there. But she's also on a special mission off the court as well. It has to do with the little sister. So that's why I respect her so much because her intentionality and her focus to this mission, no matter what has come her way, I truly respect it. So um, I'm not going to delay this anymore. Without further ado, I want you guys to be introduced to the superstar, Miss Amari Robinson. Yo, welcome into the BeBall Jones podcast. The goal of this podcast in my business is to bridge the gap, to fuel hoop dreams into impactful realities on the court and beyond. So thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoy it. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome into another episode of the BeBall Jones podcast. Of course, I'm your host, BeBall Jones. I got another hooper here. You feel me? I have Miss Amari Robinson. What's going on?
Hey, how are you?
I can't complain, man. How you doing?
I'm good, I'm good.
I'm glad that you're here. Because I know you have a lot going on. You're at Clemson, like big time. You feel me? Like it ain't just like just another school. Like it's Clemson, man. Like that's a lot. Do you understand how much that is like to be hooping at Clemson?
No, I feel like we're such a big football school. So we get a little praise, but football is like big here. And we have a lot of good sports too. So like soccer, they won a natty a couple of times. So like softball has been to the tournament. So we're pretty good all around, I'd say.
Does it kind of bother you a little bit?
Not really. I think that we just haven't had the look that we wanted to with our team to be able to be up there with them. But I mean, we still get the love and support just as much as they do, whether we're winning or losing. So that's the best part about it.
So is it fun being at like a big sports school like that?
Yeah, for sure. Because every sport event, like any game you go to, like it's always gonna be packed out, whether it's volleyball, whether it's track, or whether it's soccer. Like everybody's gonna show up and show out for sure.
So where would you rank Clemson as far as like all around sports program schools?
I don't know if I could put a number on it, but I'm definitely putting it at the top, somewhere at the top.
Mm. From what I've heard, I think Stanford is usually up there
Okay, I can see that.
because they football team's pretty solid. Basketball is another conversation on the men's side. They
Yeah,
have pockets here and there. Women's game
yeah.
they've been killing since forever.
No, for
Um,
real.
so I think that's the competition you got to deal with. You feel me? So you up there with them?
But I think we can be up there for them for sure.
Okay, okay. Um, so tell me about your experience so far at Clemson, man. What's it been like? 'Cause this is your grad year. You feel me? Like you've been up there for half whole year. So what's it been like so
I
far?
know. Oh, oh, that's what it is. But it's been good. I think like I said, we definitely had our ups and downs, but I met a lot of cool people along the way. I'm going to start for school. They're the reason I'm still here, obviously. If I didn't like them, I wouldn't be here. A lot of good teammates. I've seen a lot of things, a lot of changes myself personally, on the court and off the court. So I think it's just a growth process that I needed to go through for sure.
I do kind of want to ask you about this though. Um, like you said, the team has had some ups and downs, and this is like the grad year for you. Why didn't you transfer?
Well, I'm really big with like my major because I'm going to be a special education teacher. So they have a really good
Mhm.
program here, and it's like a fifth year residency program that they do with their education. So that was mostly the main reason I stayed. But we had a lot of good transfers come in for this year, and I think that we could make a run for it for my last year. So I was like, why not?
Okay, so a lot of people say that education is important, and obviously we know that's kind of like the cute thing to say. So education is actually important to you.
It is actually important to me. Just because the ball is not going to bounce forever. You got to have
Mhm.
something to back up. I definitely want to play as long as I can, as long as my body lets me. But just knowing that I need to have something to fall back on and being passionate about what I want to do rather than just finding something to just get a major in or get a degree in. Like I wanted to make it worthwhile and meaningful.
Mm. So why special education? Like, why is that so important to you?
I have a sister that has a disability. She has Down syndrome, so I've just always
Mm.
been around it my whole life. And so just being in her classes, like going to her Special Olympics and all the things really made me want to do it. So it just was something I felt passionate about from the very beginning and never lost sight of it.
So what did her going through that make you decide that you want to be in special education rather than just something else?
I think it's just like watching her struggle and watching her not understand like concepts that we don't even think about, like telling time or like counting money and just like
Mm.
different things that you're gonna need in your everyday life. And if she's not able to do that, then somebody could take advantage of her, like the grocery store, or if she's hanging out with her friends and want to go to the movies. So just being one of those people that can contribute to their education and making sure that they learn those vital skills. So when they do go out on their own or live with friends that they grew up with, that they'll be able to be independent and not have to be watched over every second of the day or for the rest of their life.
Mm. So how has being around her impacted you?
I think it's just made me more appreciative and patient. There's a lot of things that, I'll never understand from her lens, and just
Mm.
being that support for her and just trying to, make it obvious that whatever she wants to do, whenever she puts her mind to, she can do it. And it might take a little, extra support or a little extra time, but um, as long as we help her with it, like she can do anything.
Have you how much younger is she than you?
She's only 2 years.
Got you. So I've been around that and seen how people have, handled that, and it can definitely be challenging. Not just for the person going through, but the family around it. Um, how have you dealt with the challenges overall? Like I know kids can be mean and
Hmm.
not as mature and sensitive to things dealing with the situation. So, um, how have you kind of had to step in and like, have you had to throw hands with anybody? Like, hey, like, chill out, bro, because I like, I handle business here. Or,
Yeah, when I was younger, I was very gung go about my sister just because like they didn't know, and like it's hard to
Mhm.
try to explain as a kid what my sister has, and like trying to get them to understand it in like layman's terms. So like they would just say stuff, or like just like not knowing what they're saying. Like it might not even been about her, but it's just like saying a term like retard or something like that. And it's just like a trigger. It's just like you don't know, who's around or what's being said. And so I've definitely gotten not necessarily physical altercations, but definitely verbal ones. With like people just around me, just like not being aware of what they're saying. Um, but I think just like once you like make it obvious to them, and like once I put that personal connection, like I have a sister who has a disability, like you shouldn't use those things, or like you should be mindful of like what you say and who's around you. It definitely changes their perspective, whether it be just in that moment or forever.
mm, yeah, I think when you do have that person in your life like that, especially like being a family member, it does give you a different perspective to, not just that situation, but a lot of different things. But how has that like kind of reframed your world overall?
I think my sister's confidence really gives me a boost. She doesn't see her being any different than the person sitting next to her. She participated in everything when we were growing up. She was next to me when we would do dance recitals and things like that. Like she played on her middle school basketball team. She cheered on her middle school team. So like my parents never made it to where she was different or made it
Mm.
very obvious that she had a disability. And she carries herself in that way too. Like you say something, she's like, I can do it. And it might be
Mm.
hard and she might struggle and she might get frustrated, but like she's still gonna try and give it her best. So I think that just helps me moving forward. Like you might not know what you're doing or you might not, be the best suited for it, but as long as you give it all you got, that's all you can do.
So, what have you learned about yourself from being around her? What have you learned like from her too?
Yeah, I think just trying and not just being afraid of like an outcome. Just like I said, just giving it your best. Like even if you know it might not be something you're up for, but like all you can do is try and you don't know what the outcome would be unless you give it a shot. So I think that's the biggest thing, just putting forth the effort to do something.
And what have you learned about yourself?
Um, I think for myself, it was just how much of a giver I am. I think like as much as I want to be a teacher and give back to like her, like I'm going to do that for anybody, whether you have a disability or whether you're somebody that just needs help or needs a little extra cushion. I think I just learned to be there for everybody, regardless of what's going on, the good, the bad.
Mm,
Just giving that same energy to one person that I would to another, and just treating people how you want to be treated.
mm. So has any of this applied to the player side of you and anything on the court?
Yeah, I think definitely stepping into like the leader roles my last couple years and just being able to talk to different people and get like receive different things out of different people because you can't say one thing to somebody that you could say to somebody else, or you can't, you know, touch on or like push somebody the way you could do something else. So I
Mm,
think just learning different people and learning their styles, it definitely helped with trying to be a leader on the team and just trying to make everybody be on one goal and have one collective effort.
mm. So what is your leadership or teaching style like? Are you more of like a dictator, like, hey, I'm 50 y'all listen to me? Or you just kind of like, what is your style like?
My coach calls me Harmony because I'm like the peaceful person. Like I'm just like the
Mm,
encourager, the listener. I think my last couple years, just like knowing the urgency of like this is it. Like college is about to be wraps for me. Just trying to get them to understand that and knowing that like our team, we could do a lot of things, and if we play around about it, then those things that we want to accomplish aren't going to get done. So try to be a little more firm and stern. I'm working on it, but it doesn't come out as much.
yeah. Has it been hard to kind of hold players accountable when they're doing things?
It definitely is, just because I'm so used to just like being in the back and like I said, just being that encourager and just like picking people up when they're down. But I think just the relationships I established with my teammates and just being able to talk to them in those tones in any given situation, they know where I'm coming from rather than just saying it just to be saying it, or just saying it because I'm a 50 year and I'm all this and all of
Mm.
that. But just establishing those relationships really makes it easier for sure.
So you're kind of like the mama bear of the group.
I am the mama bear. I literally have a poster in my locker that says mom. That's what one of my teammates gave me.
So how have you kind of changed your leadership to be more of a, because you seem to be more of a lead by action type, right?
Mm, yeah, for
So
sure.
how have you kind of adapted to be more of a vocal leader?
I'm definitely big on communication, but I think it's just like I said, that like stern firmness, like that demanding part of the communication side that I lack. But I think I just have to say it, like instead of being scared of like what people are gonna say and how they react, I just have to say it, and my teammates receive it better than I expect that they would. So it just helps to know that they like listen to it, regardless whether it's like the soft end or whether it's like the harder end.
Mm. But you a hooper, so it's like it ain't like you like just talking crazy and you not playing or you not, getting busy on
True,
the
but
court
not
too.
everybody takes it like that though. So that's why you gotta pick your battles wisely, for sure.
That's true. I guess you're right. But I mean, would you call yourself the best player?
I personally would not, but I
Here we go
mean,
with
there
this.
could be.
Come on, man.
I mean, that's just who I am. I personally wouldn't say it, but I'm sure my teammates would and a lot of other people would, but I'm just never gonna say that.
We talked about this before we started recording. Okay. You're not you're not we're not doing all this extra humble stuff, okay? You're here to talk
I'm
the show.
trying, but it's just, I don't know, it's just my nature. It's hard to talk about me.
Well, got a lot of time here, so we can talk about you the whole time. It's not about me. All
I'm gonna
right, so
try. We're working on it.
it's a work in progress. It's okay. I'm
It
patient.
is. Thank you.
Um, you don't have to deal with this for like an hour, so it's okay. After this hour, you can go back to like being regularly you. Okay.
Okay,
Uh,
I'm gonna try.
Hang on, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, being the best player. All right. So we established you're the best player for
Mhm.
Clemson women's team. That's what you said, allegedly. So, so with being the
Allegedly.
best player, how has that kind of is it okay? Because you are more of a humble type. So how's that kind of like tweaked your view of the game and of yourself? Because you weren't always the best player. So how's that kind of changed over time of how you've adjusted and moved with the team?
Yeah, I think just coming in as a freshman, there was a lot of, upperclassmen that were pretty good and that we relied on heavily. So just like understanding my role. And I think just being one of those people that just come in and just do what I got to do. And it just ends up working out for me in the end, most 9 times out of 10. So just being that person that my teammates can rely on is really what helped me just be okay with the fact that I'm somebody that my teammates goes to a lot. So just being able to be that reliable and dependable player and teammate and whatever else they need. And just about myself, it's like I said, it's hard. I don't like being in the limelight. I don't like all the flash, but I mean, it's just something that comes with it. So I just got to embrace it the best way I can and represent my team the best way I can when I'm in those spaces.
Yeah, I'm glad you said being your role. What was your role being freshman you versus the role now, the best player for Clemson?
The emphasis. um, my role freshman year was really just I wouldn't. It wasn't like garbage min. It wasn't garbage minutes because I mean I started as a freshman, but I
Mhm,
knew that we were looking for other people, so just rebounding really hard, being a good defender or trying to be a good defender. I don't know if I would say I was a good one, but I did my best. Um, yeah, rebounding, just passing well, getting the ball to the person that we needed to get it to, running the floor hard. I got a lot of points from just like offensive rebounds and like being the first one down the floor and just like our point guards getting it to me and scoring that way. Um,
mhm,
and that was pretty much it for that part.
mm. So how did you transition your game to becoming the best player? I'm gonna keep saying this just so you know. Um,
It was gonna get me every time. um, I think for me, it was a lot of shooting and just being more confident that, you know, I'm here for a reason. And like I said, my teammates rely on me. Like they pass me the ball 9 times out of 10. I'm gonna try to do my best to score it for them. So I had to develop my game in all types of ways. Defensively, like being able to move quicker laterally, be a better passer, and be a better ball handler. Especially like being somebody that takes the ball out a lot and just being able to release that pressure for point guards, shooting, being able to stretch the defense out because I'll be able to have the ability to shoot from three or even mid range. So just all around, honestly, just working on
mm.
everything little by little.
I was looking at some of your film to kind of prepare for you. What's so funny?
No, I just feel like you go say something. I'm just waiting for it. I'm preparing myself.
I like how we're like 20 minutes in, you already kind of got a feel for me. That's
I
interesting.
do.
Um, but no, no, no. This isn't going that direction. It's a genuine question.
Okay.
Um, how do you feel about your shooting? Because I was watching the film and then looking at the stats. So I was just like, where's your thoughts and feelings on your shooting?
It's definitely improved for sure, especially last
Hmm.
season. I had really good shooting percentage. I felt like that I've had the best, out of my whole collegiate career. But
Hmm.
I don't know. I just feel like if I'm there, sometimes like I think I overthink myself when I'm open. So like that causes me to miss a lot rather than just catching it and shooting it, and then whatever happens happens.
Hmm.
So I think just last year, just being confident that I put up the shots to make the shots. And so that's what really drove those numbers up and hopefully driving them up this year.
Yeah. So looking at your stats, last year was your best year.
Mm,
Was it junior year or sophomore year where you took? I think it was your junior year. You took a dip, your
mm.
3-point shooting. Um, what happened with that? Because you were doing well freshman year, sophomore year, and you took a dip junior year. What do you think happened with that?
I think I was just more of a presence inside And I think I was more so just looking for our guards and stuff and our attackers on the outside. So if I was out there, I was looking to pass it to somebody for a shot, or I was passing it to somebody to set a ball screen for them, and roll and hopefully get them open. So I don't think I was looking for the three as much that year. And like
Mm.
I said, probably just not shooting enough for me to feel confident enough to knock those shots down. So that's why I really worked hard that summer, last summer, just trying to get that shooting percentage up for the next season.
Yeah, that mindset shift from like identifying yourself as a non-shooter, the work you put in, and then identifying yourself as a shooter. I think not just shooting, but any skill is probably like one of the hardest things. I'm a trainer, so that's probably the hardest thing to like train kids for because they identify themselves and they see opportunities as not being a shooter. So for you, you catch the ball high post or drive and kick or whatever, pick and pop, and your mind automatically goes to look for a pass or to drive in.
Hmm.
But now you have to adjust it to say, okay, this is a shot for me. I can take this shot and I can make it. How did you deal with that and seeing the opportunities from, a big that drives and pass and whatever versus being now a big that can shoot?
Yeah, I think it was mostly a lot like film sessions with my coaches, my position coach, and just like seeing the opportunities where I'm passing the ball and it could possibly lead to a turnover where I could have just taken the easy shot, or where people are literally sagging off of me so hard and clogging the paint for the drivers, or
Mm,
sinking in and denying the shooters when I could have taken that shot or taken that drive. Like I think it was just like that realization was like, okay, like you have to have people respect you up here. Like you're not just out here just to be a passer or to look for everybody else. Like you can also contribute in ways that, your team needs you to. So like why not? And so
mm,
we worked a lot on that and just being able to, scoring mentality first rather than pass first or who's open or who can I get the ball to. So
mm. I think that's kind of what that mindset shift has kind of aided to you being a better scorer last year and to continue to be a better scorer next year because I don't think you can be the best player on the team without being like a really great scorer. So that's kind of like progressed you to be who and where you are now. Because if you still had the mindset of like, oh, I can't shoot, I can't score that well, then it's like, all right, maybe you're not first chair, pump down to second or third chair. Not to say you can't hoop, but maybe you're not calling her number all the time. We're not calling plays for her all the time as much as we are now. Because you're like, it's just different adjustments you have to deal with.
right.
Um, but how did you deal with the confidence change? Because it's one thing to kind of understand the opportunities, but it's another thing to like actually have the confidence and be bold to actually do it now. So how did you deal with that?
I think it was a lot from my teammates. Like they was just like, "Why you not shooting? Like why you not doing this? Like why you not doing that?" And it's just like, what other answer for them do you have other than like, "I don't know," or like, "I was looking for you." Like,
Mhm.
so it's just like, no, like you need to score. You need to do this. Like we know what you're capable of, and just like go out there and do it. Like, what are you hesitating for? What are you being scared of? And so I think that was
Mhm.
just like oh, like okay, like my bad,
Yeah.
dog. Like I got you. So yeah, that really was like the biggest like switch for me because like I'm very team driven, if you obviously couldn't tell. So like whatever they like,
Mhm.
hey, let's pick it up, or like, hey, we need you to do this, like I'm gonna go through a brick wall for them every time.
Mm. Yeah. One thing I remember what player I was talking to, but I was kind of telling them like they're team driven too and everything. And like when you deal with players who are team first and they're like somewhat pass first to an extent, um, you have to talk their language and team is their language. And
Right,
it's like you're hurting the team by not scoring more. And it was like, oh snap, like the team is looking at you and counting on you to score more because this is how you help the team. The team wants to win. In order for us to win, you have to play this role, and this role is a scorer.
right.
And every time you hear coaches and whoever talk about playing your role, they skip over the fact that somebody has to score the ball. Like somebody has to put up 20 a game or whatever. And it's like
Right.
you seen as a ball hog if you want to jump and take that role versus
Hmm.
somebody who doesn't. Everybody talks about the rebounding or the being the playmaker and assist, but nobody wants to mention like somebody's role has to get buckets. Like
Yeah,
somebody has to. Like
right.
so I think it's funny how that adjustment has to be. And once I told them that switch is like, yo, you're being selfish right now. You're hurting your team. They're like, really? Yeah, bro,
Yeah.
go get buckets. After that, it was like, oof. All right, cool. So
Literally, like now I gotta go do it. Like,
yeah. So I think that's similar for you. Um, just like realizing like the team needs you and looking for you to score. You looking at you like, bro, what are you doing? Like, come on.
exactly.
So that's funny, man. Hey, hold on. Oh, time out real quick. We're gonna get back to the episode. I know you're enjoying it. I know you're enjoying the show. But I need you to help me real quick and to make sure that this episode can grow, make sure this podcast, the show can grow overall, and you can keep getting great guests like this. Make sure that you subscribe and follow along. So if you watch right now on YouTube, help me out by hitting the subscribe button. Go ahead and do it real quick. If you're listening in your car, chill out for a second. If you're on Apple or on Spotify, just like when you get a moment, hit the follow button, but not right now while you're driving. If you're working out or something, or you're chilling in your room, then go ahead and subscribe with me. Like, help me help you, okay? But thank you for watching. I really appreciate you. I'm gonna stop interrupting so you get back to the episode. Thank you. One other thing I was looking at with your game, you seem to have a good feel. And it's kind of interesting to hear you say you're not that the greatest passer and everything because you gave a couple of dimes with the high-low game and looking for somebody cutting and stuff. So where did that come from?
I think it's just like comes with the time. I've been playing for a while. Like I literally started when I was like 6, and I was playing with boys, and then just going from there and just playing. Both of my parents play, so just knowing their game and like their experience, and then watching games together and like, oh, do you see this and do you see that, and just really just like unknowingly being a student of the game when I first started and
Mm,
just having that, IQ like, oh, that doesn't seem, like too right. Like, I don't think I should make that pass. Or just like being patient with it, like just letting it come to me rather than trying to like force it.
mm. So you like giving passes and assists more?
I do.
So what is like your favorite um not stat per se, but like thing to do on the court? Would you rather have the game where you score 30 or a game where you get 15 rebounds or 15 assists?
Mm. I'd probably say 15 rebounds and 15 assists because I contributed more than just one way.
So what if you had 30, let's say 40, bump it up some, 40 ball, okay?
40 piece.
And you get the biscuit on the side too, so you get fancy. So you
I
got
like biscuits, so that's kind of hard. That's so fun now. You threw the biscuit in there.
all right, maybe not the biscuit. What else you like? Fries. You got some fries on the side.
Yeah.
40 piece and some fries on the side.
Okay.
Or I don't know what your record is in assists, but you break the
I don't
record
know.
in assists that game. Would you rather have?
I probably would still take the assist.
Why?
Breaking a record. Ain't nobody remember the 40 piece. You're gonna be in the history for the records.
But that's your career. What's your career high?
In college, 27.
You almost doubling your career high, and you don't want that.
Uh, no.
You really are a team player. I respect that.
I
I was trying to
am.
bait you, but it's okay.
Try to catch me slipping.
I will. It didn't work as well. So good job. You passed my
Thank you,
test.
thank you.
Um, you kind of just dance around that. So um, that's funny. Ooh, that's a smooth segue. Speaking of dancing, one other thing I was looking at with your film is the footwork. You got some fancy feet in that low post, man. Like
So
it's
I be moving.
yeah. Where did you how did you develop your footwork? I think that's one of the interesting things to work on is footwork, and nobody's
Mhm.
ever defined it. So like what is footwork to you and how did you develop and grow yours?
I think footwork is just like how quick you can get literally from one spot to another in like the quickest way. So not just like, okay, let's take this like should I reverse pivot or should I front pivot? Like, should I step out or should I like rip and go? Like, I think just trying to make those quick decisions really fast really helps. with just trying to figure out like how quick your feet can move. Um, and then I think I got it from my dad, honestly, just being able to like get open and things like that. We used to play one on one a lot, and he would always talk his smack, talk his trash, like, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. Back in my day, this, and this, all this. So just like taking that from him, and then just playing with a lot of other good like post players that may not have been the quickest, but like knew how to move their feet to get past their defender. So I think that's where I picked that up mostly.
Mm. Who were some players that you watched and kind of stole from? Do you have anybody that you kind of steal from a little bit? NBA, WNBA, or other college players?
Yeah. I definitely like Candace Parker for sure. Elena Deladon, KD. I think just because like they're in that same position, like that small forward, stretch forward position. So like
Mm.
they're, big and can be down in the paint, but they're also not restricted to the paint. Like they could be the one bringing the ball up, or they can be on the wing and they can be doing all the things that a guard does. So I think those are like the biggest people that I watched mostly. Oh, and Dirk. Can't forget about Dirk Nowitzki. Love that man.
What about Stewie? You like Stewie?
Oh yeah, I do like Stewie. She's very crafty. I think she's a little more saucy than me though. Like she liked to all
She a little
the
more finesse.
yeah. I
Yeah,
feel
you
like I'm
like to
a
bang a little bit
banger.
more.
Yeah, I'm a banger
Yeah.
first, then I'll finesse after. If somebody banging a little too hard, that's out.
Oh man, that's funny. Um, have you stolen anything from another player you played against? Because you had some pretty solid matches. You're in the ACC, so you have some pretty good matchups and good players. So,
Yeah,
has you like in a game, you were like, did she just do? What did she just do to me? Like, how did she score? Like,
yeah,
have you had a moment like that and you like go back and watch film? It's like, oh, that's cold. Have you had one of those
yeah.
moments?
I feel like I say I'm in the moment, but like I couldn't like tell you like exactly one moment where I'm like, ooh, that was crazy. Like if I'm like watching it or if like it just happens to me, I'm like, ooh, that's a good move. Like, don't do it again, but that's good. Like that was a good one. Try it on somebody else though.
Yeah, because y'all went up against South Carolina every year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you had against Miss Boston, Miss Aaliyah. What was that
Miss
like?
Aaliyah Boston. It wasn't even as bad as I thought it would be. Like I thought it would be like she's coming out here and like clearing us out the paint and doing all these things. But I mean, she's still, like a regular person. She, has her moments and things like that. She's a really cool person on the court, like nothing crazy. Not like one of them people that, like the fame and, the name, like really ties on them. But yeah, she's just a workhorse. Like she never stops moving. She is gonna get a rebound. She's gonna have the moves. Like she's also one of the people that may not be the quickest, but like her footwork is elite.
Mhm.
So like she's
Yeah.
gonna get open, spin move, all the things. So just like, learning from her and being able to play from her and then watching her thrive in WNBA is pretty cool.
So did you match up with her more or Victoria a little bit more?
It just depends on like who we were, like who my teammate was, like my post partner was at the time. Like if they were like more of like the wing or like the perimeter, I'd probably guard Aaliyah a lot more. Or if we had a true five come in, then I would probably guard Victoria. So it was kind of 50-50, I feel.
Mm. Did you give Aaliyah that business?
I tried. I did my best, but they're tough, can't lie. North Carolina is tough. We played them in what, 2 weeks? So
Mm. Um, I hope I can remember this. But what made South Carolina so tough to play against? What made them so special?
I think it was just their chemistry. Like they just played together. Like they looked for each other. It wasn't one single person show. It wasn't the Leah Boston show. Like everybody contributed in a way that made them thrive. Like you
Mhm.
had Zai Cook scoring, getting double figures. You got Leah Boston in the paint. You got Victoria Saxon that's coming in and sweeping up all the rebounds. Like you had so many different pieces that like added to the, total score and total stat sheet. So it was kind of hard to stop all five at once.
Mhm. So what do you see for them this year with the loss of the whole group that they had?
Yeah, I definitely think it's gonna be them just trying to figure out their, new identity, like as any new team would.
Mm.
I'm not really even sure who's on the team, so that's definitely going to be something new too. I know they have a few people coming back, like Cardoza and like Bree Hall and
Mhm.
stuff like that, but like as far as all of the newer people, I'm not sure, like the freshmen. But I feel like it's just one of the years we just gotta go and see what happens.
So this the year y'all get them?
I hope so. Gotta
You
go
know,
out
that
with a
wasn't a
bang.
hope, so not a
Gotta
hope,
go out
so
with a
it's
bang. So that's the goal.
so you're guaranteeing going against South Carolina.
Guaranteeing is a strong word. I'm gonna say we're gonna try to put up our best fight, and hopefully the outcome works out in our favor.
Okay, back to that footwork you have. It's pretty nice right there. Just dancing around,
Spin move.
just Euro stepped around that one. Like, nah,
Yep.
guaranteed. I don't know,
Yeah.
man, but we're gonna give our best. You feel me? So
I
that's
mean,
all you
South
can ask
Carolina
for.
has always been tough. Don Staley's a good coach, so we just gotta do what we know what we can do
Mm. Yeah, she's a legend.
for
I'm gonna
sure.
keep saying this because every time she mentions on the podcast, I'm gonna get her on the podcast. So I just want to throw that out there so she'll know she's gonna be here one day. So
Yeah, we're gonna put a stamp on the manifest.
yeah, you feel me? So when she comes, I'm like, yo, I didn't say this like 30 times. She's gonna be on here. You finally here. So it is what it is. Um, what about some other matchups you had? I'm interested to know about Kara Lawson. I know you like didn't play against her, obviously, but
hmm
from what you've seen from your player perspective, what is she like as a coach? Just going against her.
I think she's very intense, very passionate, about the game. And those that do not match her level of intensity or those that do not, have that want to or the willingness to do whatever she's asking of them, you can't play for her. So I think that's
Mm,
what I've seen mostly when we played against Duke. Like they're very physical, very scrappy. They're going after all the loose ball. They're doing all the little things. So I feel like that was a reflection of, her as a coach and how she
mm,
wants, her team to play. So
mm. So y'all gonna beat Duke too?
I don't even know who's on Duke team. So uh, we're gonna do our best to scout them and go out there and do what we got to do.
Okay. Who else I got? Louisville. I had,
Yeah,
you know, played against Haley. What was she like?
Haley was also intense. She was definitely a bucket for sure. Um, she did it all, driving to the hoop, pull ups, threes, defense. She was definitely a tough matchup, but I'm curious to see how that shifts, the team, because with somebody that impactful, it's kind of hard to just not necessarily replace her, but like fill in, her spot and also have that team chemistry with those that are already there. So
Mhm,
um, I think it would be interesting to see how the rest of the season plays out.
mm. Yeah, I think that's always tough losing a player of that caliber, but
Yeah.
um, like you never really know, man. It's just the opportunity for you guys to come and win and beat them, like you said you're gonna do with Duke in South Carolina. So we're just gonna see how you handle that. Um,
See, there you go. Optimism.
mhm. uh, any other matchups I'm missing over?
North Carolina was a pretty good one too.
Oh yeah, North Carolina. What's up with
hmm
UNC? What they look like in your eyes?
I think they're another like team that gels really well. They play for each other, and like I said, they have multiple scoring threats. So that's definitely going to be something that we're gonna, dial into a little bit more. But
Mm,
like any other team in our league, like our league is one of the best. So I think any team, any matchup that we play against, like they're gonna have their moments. We're gonna have our moments. It's just gonna come down to the wire.
mm. So are you gonna drop 30 ball on them, or you just a light 20 piece?
If a 30 ball comes, I'll take it. 20 piece is kind of like where we at right now, but I can definitely go above. I don't know about under though.
Mm,
I'm gonna try not to go under. We need to stay there or above. That's what we
I
got to
feel you.
do.
So career high against him. Is that what you're saying?
Could be.
You and these coulds, and maybes, and possibilities, and
Can't be
okay.
too sure. Can never be too sure.
All right, whatever. Tired of politically correct answers. Tired of this. Get out of here with this.
Get out of here with this. It's crazy.
I'm trying to start messing how you talk some trash, and you just up here being
That's
just PC as
messy.
possible. It's not
Messy.
messy. It is entertainment. Somebody's enjoying this besides me.
Entertainment. I'm enjoying this. This is fun.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
That's all. If you enjoying it, I've won. Okay, I feel successful because you're enjoying this. Yeah, nobody else has to like this. You do, so I'm good. Oh man. All right, I'm gonna get off of that because it is messy. So I'm gonna stop.
You just said it was entertainment. That was messy. Which one? Or both of them?
We're moving on, so it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant now. Um,
I can't. You
oh
said it's
man,
irrelevant.
we moved on.
Next.
That's the past. You said you play in the moment, right? So now we're in the new moment. This is a
Yes,
new
we're in a
moment.
new moment. We are moving on.
That was the last play. You got to move on to this one. It's the current play. Okay,
Yes. Next play mentality.
exactly. The winner mentality. Okay. So let's in this current moment, this new question that I'm asking you is oh man, 5 years is a long time, man. You said before you're the vet, you're the OG up there. Um, have a lot of memories and a lot of experiences being at Clemson. Anything stands out the most of like, well, technically 4 years because this is the 5th year, but you know what I'm saying. Like over these past few years at Clemson, what has been something that stands out to you the most?
Mm, I think our growth, honestly, as a program. We started off, you know, winning maybe 8 games to being in the WNIT back to back, literally 1 or 2 spots out of being in a tournament. So I think just seeing us grow as a team was really inspiring just for not only us that's playing there and trying to finish it out, do leave our mark, but just the ones coming in and just making Clemson a place that people want to go to, not just, like I said, not just for football or the other sports, but like it could be a basketball school too. So,
Okay, I'm gonna go back to the transfer thing. What was your freshman year?
2019, 2020.
So 2019, 2020. So COVID happened your sophomore year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sophomore year and then like inching into junior year.
Okay. Now that sets up my question better. So you had the opportunity to leave because they changed the rules and stuff after that. With the start you had freshman year, continue on sophomore year, with the transfer, ability opening up more. It's not like you're a bad player. I'm very sure you would have got, and you don't like guarantees. So I'm very sure that you would have got picked up so um I know you say education is important, but so no other school could have had like special education as a major. Let's say another school did have it, like excluding education piece. What made you stay at Clemson? Because 8 wins is tough. Like
Yeah.
it's very tough to come back and be NIT. It's better, but it's still tough to like want to stay there, especially being at that level. So what made you stay? Like, because that's almost it's not the norm anymore with
Right.
today's culture in college basketball. So what made you stay?
I think it is just that stigma with the transfer portal, and especially with COVID, like it was so crazy. Like you had like 2,000 players in there, and it's just like,
Yeah.
okay, if I go in there, there's no guarantee that I'm going to come out. Like regardless of what I did, you had all these people transferring from in and out, like people transferring as soon as the season ended to like right before the portal closed. So it was just like that uncertainty, that like up in the air messing it up for the high school players. Like it was just a lot of mess.
Mm.
So I don't think I would have did it. And plus, like I just felt like I just trust the process. Honestly, um, there was nothing at Clemson that made me be like, oh, I have to get out of here. Like I can't be here because like we're not winning. Like it'd be different if we was just in a slum and then things was, horrible and it was just so negative. Like I just didn't want to be here, but I just didn't get that from here, and I'm glad I thugged it out. And we now have a team that I really think we can make a run for it as long as we can if we, do what we got to do. So I think it was for the best that I stayed.
Shout out to your coach because that is very tough to do to have the 8-win season and have someone stay for 5 years. Like, once again, unheard of in today's time. I know women's college game is a little bit different from the guys,
Yeah,
but even with you got done with your 4 years, you could have left and went somewhere else and, handle business. For you to come back and, finish out what you started, it says a lot about the coach to be able to say, well, this means a lot for the coach to get you all to stay and to get you all to commit to the process and say, hey, I know what happened before, but we can still move forward. And for you to have that environment and that culture for the teammates to still be a part and understand everything too says a lot. Um, what was the thing about their coach that stuck with you and made you want to stay with the program?
yeah. Me and Coach Bella have a really good bond. First off, we share the same birthday, so I feel like I can't leave my birthday twin. Like that's crazy. Um, but seriously, let's see. I think it's just like her like genuineness. I think like what you see on the court and what you see off the court is the same person. Like it's not a front, it's not, anything like it's like, oh, she's good here, but like I feel like there's no buts. She's
Mm,
genuine about, what she wants to do. She's setting you up for not setting you up for failure, but like setting you up to be successful, whether that be on the court or off the court. Um, she genuinely cares about the growth of you as a person. But we do like BOCs and all these things all the time just to develop us as people rather than just players. So I think she really focuses on the whole aspect of like being a player and being a person and being something part of like being a part of something bigger than yourself and not just, okay, well, I know you're a good basketball player, so let me just tap into that. So I really think that's what it was for me. And she's a big relationship person. Like she makes sure that, she knows about things that's going on with you and has those
mm,
conversations and wants to meet up with you, wants to talk about things, incorporates her family and a lot of things that we do. So it was just all of the right things, lots of pros.
mm. And what's BOC?
It's called Breakfast of Champions. So like each week we'll do it and it's like a different lesson. And somebody will give a current event about like what's going on like in the world or like something we think is, worth knowing and sharing with everybody. And then we'll have different lessons about like being a teammate or like what it takes to be a leader or like different quotes. We have a team book that we read every summer. So just like going through that and finding different lessons about basketball or about life and how we can apply it to the court and the team and stuff like that. So just that whole development all around.
I like that. I might steal that. I might have to take that one. Put it in my back pocket. Um, but what is the biggest takeaway that you've gotten from the BLC, or like one of the biggest ones that you just that sticks with you the most?
um, I think it's just the ones where we like learn more about ourselves and like how we learn, I would say like our learning styles and like our communication styles and different like things like that and
Mm,
just like tapping into like who we are. We take like these like disc assessments so they show us like
hmm
what our dominant trait is and like what our top strengths are, our core values. So those like really like speak to me the most because like I do a lot of things that involve other people. So trying to figure out who I am and what I need to do and how I can strengthen myself is definitely something that I'm working on. So just like those different BOCs that we do, things like that, it really like speaks to me just so I can learn myself better and so I can be a better person for other people.
mm. Do you remember your disc assessment?
Yes,
Are you a high S or a high C?
hi S. I'm SC, literally consistent, adaptive, and natural.
I'm the same. I'm the same. So I already know. See, I'm hitting with you
See,
now. I know who you are.
see, now
Yeah,
you know.
I got you. What's your D?
Um, I'm very low in D. I feel like my
Like how
D
low?
is
So like
like
20s.
probably it's below 50 for sure.
I think my D was like 40 something, and it drops to like 30. I think it was like 44, 38. And then my
Mm.
eye is stupid low. My eye was like, I think it was like in the 20s. I was,
Yeah, my eyes are like, uh, they're in there somewhere.
yeah, my S and C was like 88 and 86. My S, and then like my C was like, I took it twice. So it was like 80, the range was like 86 to 89 for like both of them each time I took it. So I'm super high like S and C. So
Yeah,
um,
same. I think
you
mine's
see
like
how I am.
98.
Oh, you worse than, well, not worse, but you higher than me in that. That's funny. Oh man. Um, I think people don't even know what we're talking about, but it's all good. It's just
So we're gonna have to take their own test to figure it out.
yeah. Y'all should take like the disc assessment is very a useful tool. You guys should look it up. DISC assessment. Look into it. Costs a little bit of bread. Um, just a little
It
bit.
does.
You feel
Just a
me?
little bit. You can do it
Yeah, but it's worth it to like have that level of self awareness means a lot. And you get to I always say this like self awareness isn't it's not always about learning ourselves, it's to be able to learn people around us too.
though. Hmm.
And so the fact that I'm a high SNC, I can talk to you totally different now versus how you were a high D or a high I. So now we can
Right.
speak the same language like equally because we're similar. And so the more I learn myself, the more I learn people around me. So like I learned my dad so much more by knowing how I am and who I am. And like my brother the same way and just people around me. So slight tangent. I like this part of life too. Just take the disc assessment.
Right.
Um, you feel me? Small plug. I ain't got no connection to it.
No,
I
literally
tried
sponsor
to.
it. Sponsor us.
Yeah. Y'all heard him. Sponsors. You feel me? Get her an NIL deal. Give me a sponsorship. You feel me? It's light work.
Literally. Everybody wins.
All right. Okay. Another timeout. Okay. Look, if you got to this point, you have to be enjoying the episode. Like you have to. At this point in the episode, you're enjoying it. So help me help you. Just if you're on Apple right now and you're on your phone, okay, just take your phone, press the subscribe button. It's right there. Just do that with me. Even if on your laptop, take your mouse, boom, click over, boom, do your thing. Now you subscribe. Now you linked in because you don't want to miss the next great episode that I have. But doing stuff like this helps the episode grow, makes the show grow, and the podcast grow so I can keep getting great guests and keep doing great interviews. So if you listen on Apple or Spotify, take a second, look at your phone, press the follow button, okay? And share with a friend or two because you'll find a value in this. You want to have this conversation with your friends so they can have the same value. Now the whole basketball community can grow. All right. Thanks for listening so far. I'm gonna get out your way. Let's get back to the episode. Appreciate you. Your coach. Yes, your coach. You have a very I won't say unique coach, but the fact that your coach is big on the EQ and like the emotional state and the mental state of the players, that's very impactful. Because a lot of coaches lack that. They
Mm.
don't have the emotional intelligence to be in tune with players, especially younger players, um, and to make sure that they're okay on that end too. Because at that level, it's business. Like
Hmm.
8 wins is clock ticking. Like
Literally. Like my job is
turn
on
this
the line
around.
here.
Exactly. So in the ACC, Power Five, Clemson, it's like, hey, is what these wins looking like.
Right.
But to be able to cultivate the culture of personal development with the young ladies too says a lot more about the head coach and above her, the AD, and whoever else makes those decisions. Um, 8 wins is tough, man. Like 8 wins, I just can't get over that because that's tough. Like,
Yeah, it was brutal for sure. But like I said, we still, trusted the process and we were bringing in people that wanted to help us be a part of, getting over that slump. And we did. We found our people. Like I said, we still didn't get where we wanted to be, but we were better than eight. We went from eight to WNIT. So it's like we're doing something right. We just had to get through the rough patch first. And even before I got here, they went to the Sweet 16. So it's like you have that, and then you have your little low because, they graduated so many seniors. So, like, we got to rebuild again. So that was our rebuilding rough patch. And then we came up and continuing to go up.
Was that year mentally tough on you?
Um, I don't think it was mentally tough, but I think it was just like draining, like just doing all you
Mm.
can and knowing that like the outcome was still not going to work in your favor. And it's just like there was also too a lot of good teams. So it's just like we're trying to find ourselves, but then these teams are already established. So it's like it's kind of hard to try to, pick your battles when you don't really have that much to work with. Like we're just trying to figure it out and we're trying to move game by game, day by day, practice by practice. So it was definitely tough for sure. But I think, just us not wanting to feel like that, not want to be in that spot, we was like, hey, we got to get people in here that want to win, that want to do this. And we found them. And then it's like, all right, now what do we need to do in practice? Like, how are we going to be better, 1% better each day. And then how, when those people leave, how, when new people come in, how are we going to establish that culture of just like, hey, we're not trying to be where we used to be. Like, we got to, the only place we're going is forward. So,
Mm. I really respect your mindset. You're able to have a level-headed, very um, balanced perspective on everything. Because you could have been like, "Yo, it's 8 wins, ain't getting it, fam. I didn't come here for this.
literally
Like this is
spiraling.
it's not what I signed up for." But even in the middle of that, you still had a solid perspective. And now looking back at it, you still have a solid perspective. Where did this mindset and this ability to view life in the game like this come from?
um, I don't know. I think it's just like being on a variety of teams where there was sometimes we were the team that just could not get it together and figured it out, whether that had been college or AU, like having the teams where nobody could get along or nobody could do the thing. So I think just trying to be that middle ground for everything. Like I've had the highs, I've had the lows, but like if you're either one extreme, like it's not going to help at all. So just trying to see how we can move past all of that and, be better. So just those different teams and just having that experience and actually going through all of the processes, the highs, the middles, the lows, and just knowing what each of them feel like and just saying like, hey, like if we don't do this, we can be here. But if we do this, we can be up here. So trying to get everybody on the same page and see, the bigger picture.
Mm. And it goes back to the disc assessment with how you kind of view things because you're an analytical person and you're able to have a good perspective on things too. It's like I think I'm obviously biased in saying this, but you have a good balance of the IQ and understanding things and analyze and look at things for kind of the black and white of what it is. And you also have like the emotional intelligence to kind of, have the empathy and compassion to move in that lane too. And I think once again, bias in saying this, you have like a perfect blend in like life because you have the ability to move and be more black and white, move by the numbers and move by this needs to happen. So it's gonna happen one way or another. But then take a step back and like, okay, is everybody okay with us moving here? How can I help you emotionally to move here? Because we're moving here.
Yeah,
I
we're
just need to
getting
make sure you're
there.
good.
Right.
Yeah.
You're gonna get there
Need to
too.
make sure
So what you
you're
need to
good.
do. Right.
Exactly. And that's what's going to aid you and continue to be a better leader because you have a good balance of that. So hopefully I can be like you when I grow up and have that leadership skills and
Whatever.
good.
Thank you though.
uh yeah, man. But for real, I think that's why you'll be a good teacher. Because a lot of teachers don't have the patience and the emotional intelligence to deal with kids and be like, bro, I just said 2 + 2 is 4. why are we still going? Like,
Yeah.
I get you're frustrated, but like, come on, man. Like, that's not helping anybody. So,
Right, because they still don't know what 2 plus 2 is. So like you yelling is not helping.
yeah,
We need to find a new way.
as a kid, I honestly, that didn't make sense. Like,
Yeah.
it was weird to me. Now that I'm grown, I understand more. It's like, oh, you definitely didn't know what you were doing
Yeah,
because,
like what? Because now you don't have one kid. Now you have the whole class that don't know what's going on.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
you need to go ahead and take over the school and get them kids right. So,
I'm doing my best. They hard headed, but we getting there. We are getting there.
so what's the next? I was kind of. I know you're in the moment and you know you're here, but at the same time you're a high S and a high C, so you're planning forward. So what is like the next move for you? Is pro if the WNBA calls and start knocking at your door like, hey, maybe we got a spot for you, or if overseas calls, maybe we got a spot for you looking for that, or are you just gonna hang it up at some point and just push forward the teaching career?
Yeah, I definitely want to play after I'm done. Preferably overseas for sure. Just because I want to travel and get to experience life. Being a collegiate athlete for 5 years is not the life that everybody thinks it is. Not the glam and the glitter, but just being able to use what I've been doing all this time to be somewhere I want to be, like Spain or Italy or, somewhere fun, and I can experience a different life and a different culture, a different lifestyle. And do that for a couple years and then start teaching for sure. But I'm not in a rush to do really anything. I'm gonna enjoy my time school free before I have to go back.
Yeah, so um when you get that contract and you get overseas, just call me up and like, yo, I'm gonna come back and do an interview and talk about my overseas experience. And like, anytime, fam, I got you.
I
So just let me
got
know.
you. I will.
So, with your teaching, mainly, I don't understand the educational system around special education. So, what kind of teaching will you be aiming to do, if that makes sense?
Yeah. Right now it's still kind of like up in the air. At the school I'm at right now, I'm doing like resource, so I'm kind of doing like the pull out where like kids just need like support in like English and math or like, just certain subjects. Because they have like disabilities with like, ADHD or just like specific learning disabilities with like reading numbers or things like that. But then I've also worked in environments where students have severe disabilities in the self-contained classroom. So where they're, eighth graders, but still reading and writing on like a first and second grade level. Um, I've spent most of my time in those settings, so that's why I feel like I want to be the most. But resource is still kind of like iffy for me because like we're in like inclusion classes, like we go to other teachers' classrooms, like we're in our own class, like we're all over the place, and I don't think I want to be like bouncing around. But if we were in like a resource class or just like the kids just came to us, I feel like it would be different. Um, so I'm not really sure where exactly I want to be, but just know that I can be really on any spectrum.
Mm. So, if any opportunity around special education was available, not any, but like pretty much most opportunities, you'd be open to it.
Yeah, I'd be open to really anything, honestly, because in special ed, like you're gonna get whatever, honestly and truly. Like that's just the nature of the beast. Like you're really not gonna know what you're getting into. You might sign up for one thing and you might get something else. So I think that's like the best part about it. Like you just don't know what you're gonna get. And but you have to, help everybody. So it's kind of
Mm. Man, you're pretty cool, man. I like
I
that.
try.
Oh man. Um, I like how you didn't say thank you. That was you accepting it, so I appreciate that.
Thank you. I had to
Hey, you
throw a
just
little
said thank you. You
splash in
canceled
there.
it out.
Ah, dang. I tried.
One
Should
step forward, one step back.
See, you should just let me have it, and then we wouldn't even be in this predicament. I would have been one up.
Oh, it's my fault now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Somebody has accountability. Guess it's
Yeah,
me.
it's your fault.
It's terrible. Bad leadership skills. You get a point deducted for that too.
Oh
So
my God, I'm just
whatever.
He was going down.
Oh man, you talk to your coach after this one. Very disappointed.
So you probably wouldn't believe it anyway. So it's probably where that will go. It'd be two against one.
I got proof. It's literally recorded, so I got proof.
You're gonna say I'm AI.
Wow, that is wild. You want to go that route? Okay, all right, okay.
AI.
You win. I'm not even gonna try to fight that. I'm done. All right, this interview's over with. Go home, ladies and gentlemen. All
Go
right,
home.
this lady. She put out AI. Like, come on, man. I don't even know how to fight that yet. We haven't even got that far in advance, and
See, you gotta be quicker than that.
all right, whatever. Interview's done. We're going home. But now, before we do get out of here, 4 years at Clemson. What has been the biggest transformation in you personally? Not as a player, but as a young lady. You know, blooming into a young adult. You kind of are a young adult, but you're still a kid. Yo, when
Okay,
you're in
speak.
college, you a kid. Like I'm speaking from experience. You were still a kid, so so blooming into a young lady. What has been the biggest personal development and personal challenges you've overcome to like be at this point now?
Um, I think it's just the time management, honestly. It's having to be somewhere all the time and having something set out for you. I think that's just like the biggest thing. Going from just like the flexibility to like maybe I do this, maybe I won't, but like you get to college, you're like, nope, this is year 8 to year 5. And then after that, you figure out what you want to do in that short window, and then you got to wake up and do it all over again. And then especially this year, just like with incorporating like being at school all day, it's just like that's another piece that gets taken out. So you get home and it's just like, all right, I got 2 hours to myself. How am I going to spend it? I got to do all this all over again. So that's the ghetto part about being a young adult. But I mean, this is what I signed up for, so I gotta love it as much as I don't like it in the moment.
It gets uglier when you get out of school, which is
Mm, I'm not
man.
ready. I would like to be a kid again.
You still are a kid. We just established that you're a kid still.
Kids don't pay bills or drive.
You're a big kid. That's all it is.
I'll take that. I do consider myself as a big kid, so
I am too, so it's not me like not trying to knock you. So whatever.
so
Oh man,
whatever. Ah,
I forgot my question now. That's great. Trying to do a whole good wrap up, and you just made me forget my question.
I'm sorry.
That's
See, that's what happens when you put two big kids on the same platform.
mm. It's my fault because I asked you to interview, so it's my
It
fault.
is.
I shouldn't have
I
did
told
this.
you it is your fault. You are to blame.
But you see how I'm a great leader because I took responsibility and
Oh my
accountability for this.
God. I'll give you
You should
that.
take notes.
I'll give you that. I'm taking notes.
Hey, good job, man. You're gonna have a moment this season where it's not your fault and it's a teammate's fault. You take accountability for it, and instantly you're gonna be like, remember that podcast?
I'm
He taught me this.
definitely gonna have my note right there, ready to pull out.
You're gonna remember in that moment, it's gonna hit you. Like, man, I remember I was on the podcast. He took accountability. This is a moment to make him proud, to show that I'm here as a great leader too.
I'm gonna text
You're
you
welcome.
when that moment happens, so you can be aware.
I might should have thug team like, I did well, my young sensei.
Sensei. Good
Oh
night.
man, that's funny. I'm trying to wrap it up and do some heartfelt thinking. We just laughing. This is terrible.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
serious.
I'm gonna figure out some questions to like get us back on.
The deep sigh. This is all out of whack right now.
I got a good question. It's gonna be like super left field. Okay, looking at what you have dealt with and overcome these 4 or 5 years, what would you say little sister would be most proud of you about?
Um, I don't know. I feel like she's just proud of about all the little things. Um, and it's not even the things that matter. I think that's what makes it the most like impactful. Like she's not worried about like the accolades or like, oh, that I made it to school on time or like, oh, I got an A on my test. Like she's worried about the little stuff like getting my hair done or like me like just giving her a hug. Like I think that's what it is. It's like remembering like the little reminders to just like always remember the little things and like small things still make a big difference. Whether it be something that's like not that important to somebody else, but could be super important to you. So I think that's what it is, just appreciating the small things.
Mm. And you started playing basketball at 6, right?
Hmm.
What would little Amari, 6-year-old Amari, say about the 50th year at Clemson Amari?
She would not even believe it, honestly. And then she would be so blown away by all the things that I've done and that I'm doing and that I want to do. And I feel like she just didn't have this big old vision. She's just like, basketball just looks like something fun. I like I could make friends doing playing basketball, but never knowing the vehicle that basketball was and that it took her all these places and doing all these things.
Mm. So if you could only tell her one thing, what would you tell her?
I think I would tell her to have fun, just because it does get so consuming and you only focus on basketball in school and you forget about all the things, outside of that and that you are still a kid and you are still a young adult and you still have a life outside of, everything that's going on. So just enjoy whatever comes your way. Say yes more than you say no and just enjoy the
Mm.
ride.
Mm. I think it's my last question. I can't think of anything else. So, stop laughing. It's a serious moment.
Because
So,
you said that you didn't have no more questions. I don't think you should have said that.
no, this is my last. I have like one
Oh,
more.
one more following that. Got you. Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah. Okay. Oof, that was rough. So,
Ooh, that was rough. Okay, serious.
all right. So, final question for now. What would your advice be to a young lady looking to get in your position or a similar one? You talked about earlier how there's a very ugly side to playing at this level. That's a whole nother episode. Matter of fact, thank you. You gave me another idea. Um, but what would you tell her? Like the good, bad, and the ugly. Like you want to play at a Power Five school and you want to play at a D1 level. You want to play at Clemson. This is what I have to say to you.
Um, I would just be honest. Say it's hard. Um, you're gonna see your friends do a lot of stuff that you're gonna want to do. You're gonna be excluded a lot. You're gonna want to go to the movies. You're gonna want to do all the things, but you got practice. You got AU games. You got to travel from Chicago to Tennessee and then back home, and then you got school the next day. You got a lot of homework you got to do in between those two times. So, um, it's a lot, but it's gonna be worth it at the end. You just gotta trust the process and do all you can in the moment, and it'll be a big payout, I think.
Mm. That was good. I like that one.
Thank you. I tried to put a stamp on it for you since that was the last question.
Mm. There's the last question. I can't think of anything else. So,
So he was thinking, you like say,
because you said that, I was like, can I think of one more just to mess with
just
her up? But no,
that's what
that's it.
she.
Um, anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Thanks for having me. This was cool.
I appreciate you coming on. Um, you're almost done. You can get rid of me in a minute. I got a few like little closing remarks I have to make,
Okay.
housekeeping items, and then you're free to go. You feel me? So, whew, thank you all for bearing with me. Because this was a rough 70 minutes of listening to me ramble on. A lot of laughing. I didn't expect this much laughing to go on here. So I apologize, you all. This is a very serious and astute podcast, as you can tell. While she continues to laugh, I don't understand this. This is not a wow thumbs down.
Yeah,
For
because
you all that's listening,
that last line was the seriousness was the thumbs down. Well, let me finish. Let you.
for you all listening, turn over to the YouTube so you can see the disrespect that I'm dealing with right now. Because it's just interesting, to say the least. Like I was saying, before I was rudely interrupted, this is a very astute and studious and serious podcast here, you all. For any of the Amari fans, I'm so sorry. This is a poor representation of this.
The Murray fans of the world are in shambles.
Oh man. For you all who have been following this podcast, listening here because of me, I know this episode was not what you were expecting. So we'll just do better. I'm not even sorry. We're just gonna do better next episode. We're gonna get back to our regularly scheduled program and our routine of serious questions, serious topics, and serious people to interview. Because obviously she didn't take this interview serious. She just came.
Very, very unserious person.
Oh man, but no, seriously, I appreciate you coming on. It means a lot for you to take time out to get on this little show of mine and chop it up with me. I appreciate that a lot. Seriously,
Well, thank you.
don't take it lightly. Yeah, man. So if you all have been listening to this, I appreciate you all too. I don't take that lightly at all either, because this is a lot of time I spend talking. I ain't talking too much this time. She was doing the talking, but it's a lot of time to sit here and listen to us. And you can listen to a lot of other podcasts, a lot of other bigger names and other people doing other things. So you took the time to listen to this one, so I really appreciate that. Seriously. But I know you listen, but I need you to do like one more thing for me and like go ahead and subscribe. You feel me? If you're on YouTube, subscribe. You feel me? Like you're looking at me, I'm looking at you. Subscribe. It's right there. Like just don't do that. Stop. Hey, subscribe. Do it right there. It's right there. Subscribe. Okay. Thank you. Like it too and share it. But subscribe first. You don't have to do the second two. I would appreciate the second two. Share and like it. But subscribe. That's the one. If you can do one thing for me, that's the one. Okay. If you're on Spotify and Apple, them same thing. Subscribe. Okay. Do that. You're gonna share it because she was dope. She was amazing. But like for me, I was down there. But for me, that's all I'm asking. She's worth the share and the like. I'm worth the subscribe. Hopefully. If not, I understand. You feel me? I do better. I got a lot of other episodes to keep doing. I'll go back to the other ones, listen to them. Maybe I was better on that one. I don't know. So just bear with me. I'm struggling here. But yeah, like, share, and subscribe. Let her know how dope she was. You feel me? Go hit her up on social media. I'm at the link stuff below. Instagram, that's the preferred platform for you.
Yeah. Instagram.
So hit her up on Instagram, like, yo, IG, the gram, fam, you're amazing. I respect what you're doing for your little sister and for the space of special education. I respect what you're doing for Clemson. Are you Clemson fans? Show us some love. She was amazing here. Go out to the games, watch her do her thing, drop 30 and drop a 40 ball, get the 15 rebounds and 15 assists, because that's what she does. You feel me? Real hooper life. It's easy. She's still laughing. I don't understand this. What else? Oh, you can follow me on social media too. BeBall Jones. That's BeBall Jones. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X. Just like Google my name, type in any platform, and hopefully I come up. If not, go to somewhere else and I'm there. BeBall Jones. That's it. And I think that's it. Oh, every Friday on the audio side, there's a thing called Hoop Gems. It's like the mental game. You guys, she talked about how important it was to like mentally lock in and change the identity from a non-shooter to a shooter. I drop little things like that on the Hoop Gems every Friday. Like it's the mindset part that I talk about on every Friday. It's just 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes for me. Like, come on, bro. You spent the hour with me here. You got 5 minutes for me on Friday. Come on, man. Like you can do that for me. So Hoop Gems every Friday. It's like quick little 5-minute nuggets of mental game, giving you some how-tos, sprinkling some inspiration because y'all like that too. Try to dabble in that and show you all some love on that side too. That's it. Thank you, Miss Amari Robinson, again. Go Clemson. Do y'all thing. You feel me? Hope you guys watching when she said they're gonna beat South Carolina, Duke, Louisville, and UNC this year. I think y'all play all them. If not, you'll beat them again next time. What is your last year? Okay,
They got
negate
it
that
though.
last. I'm gonna edit this out. Take that out. Editor, take this out. So y'all play South Carolina. So I'm talking to myself. I'm my editor. So yeah, y'all play South Carolina for sure. So if y'all play the other schools, y'all gonna beat them. That's what she said. Okay. And she's dropping a 30 ball. 30 ball and a dub. That's wild. That's
Crazy. I don't know who said that.
I don't know either. But maybe AI said it too. I
Probably.
don't know.
It touched it up on the science.
And she gonna get all conference player of the year, first team. So first team all defense, all that stuff. You feel me? 'Cause
Doing
that's
it
what she
big.
do. Big time. Got to go out with a bang, like you said before. So
Gotta go out with a bang. That's as much bang as you can get.
I mean, besides winning the whole thing, that could be a bigger bang.
Big Bang Theory.
She just guaranteed she's winning Natty this year. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. 2024 Clemson Tigers championship is on the way, according to Miss Robinson, the future teacher at some school near you. That's it. I ain't got anything else to say. That's me talking. No, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. See you next week.